those things that open us up to the supernatural that the Lord did to his body was giving us the privilege of the unknown tongue. The unknown tongue ushers the rest of the giftings. Every other giftings, the key to that giftings is speaking in tongue. Speaking in tongue is sometimes what some of us imagine it is. Because when the first church was born in the upper room, the first expression of God's power that they were exposed to, after the Bible talks about there was a rushing mighty wind, was that the Bible told us that they began to speak with other tongue. Among many giftings, that was the first gift that was birthed at the birth of the new church. And that was to be a key that will open every other doors to come. Because that was not just coincidence. It is God's idea that it is true that every other ones are connected to it. And until we begin to know the mystery behind it, and we begin to unleash that mystery, deepen ourselves consciously, and whatever we do in that dimension is done intentionally, because now we are doing things based on the understanding we have in it, what it means. Let me firstly explain that. Let's see the prophecy that was given in the Old Testament as regarded to speaking in tongue. What does that prophecy reveal to us that it was in the mind of God that we will speak in unknown tongue? Jesus spoke about it in the book of Mark, when he was about to ascend. He told us that these signs will follow them that believe. Among many things he told them, he says they will speak in what? Jesus was able to speak and made us to know that one of the signs that will follow what? A believer is what? Speaking in tongue. Was to be a believer sign. Because it is important to understand that it's beyond just speaking in tongue. It was also meant to usher in other giftings. In Isaiah chapter 28, Isaiah chapter 28, in Isaiah 28, Isaiah said in verse 11, Isaiah 28 verse 11, it says, for with stammering lips and another tongue. For with what? Stammering lips and another tongue will he speak to these people. Now, this was the prophecy given by Isaiah, that God says that he's going to speak to us, the body of Christ. He's going to initiate the revelation of what? Speaking in tongue. Why that? In verse 12, it says, to whom he said, this is the rest. So, speaking in tongue is described here in this chapter as what?